Good afternoon, my name is Ola Atamanova and Ukraine Media Center Ukrinform continues its operation today. Today is day 831 of the full-scale invasion of our homeland by Russian aggressor, and now we will be talking about the end of the curriculum year. We will be talking about the way it was going through under the conditions of the full-scale invasion, and we will be talking about the admission campaign 2024. Let me introduce a speaker today. Is joining us online is Andriy Vitrenko, First Deputy Minister of Education and Science of Ukraine. Good afternoon, Mr. Andriy. Good afternoon and glory to Ukraine, Mr. Andriy. So let's start our conversation with the end of this curriculum year for our kids. What was going on? What were the challenges that we were facing? Thank you for your question. Well, in compliance with the resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers dated 28 July 2023, the end of this curriculum year is 28th of June 2024, but within our education system, if we're talking about secondary education, all of the regions identified the last day of the curriculum year for themselves as they were entitled to according to that resolution. For what I know, in Kiev, the last reading was on 31st of May. All of the curriculum was fulfilled and properly learned by our students. One of the biggest challenges this year was the security challenge. Just like previous year, the Ministry of Education and Science continues the work on reinforcement of the shelter facilities. More than 3 billion hryvnias were allocated for outfitting of shelters in educational institutions. This year the number changed to 2.5 billion hryvnia. Hopefully it will be properly used within all of the regions in a timely manner that will allow our children get back to proper offline mode of education in secondary educational institutions. Talking about can we continue about the mission campaign? So, Mr. Andriy, do we expect that in curriculum year 24 the majority of educational institutions will switch to offline mode? Yes, absolutely. Our program contemplates 100% of offline education. Well, national multimedia test, what will it be looking like this year? How it will be different from previous times? You probably already know the number of students who got signed up. Well, I apologize, but it's multidisciplinary. But what I need to say, first of all, to emphasize that is a reiteration of the external independent testing. Under conditions like this, it's very difficult to continue the study on the program like this, but we will switch to different ways of evaluation after the end of the full-scale invasion, after the end of the war. Currently, the National Multidisciplinary Test is a digital version of the external independent evaluation, which takes into account all of the logistics, financial, and other circumstances that complicate the way we can do the external independent testing. Currently, we have more than 280,000 small Ukrainians having signed up for the national multidisciplinary testing, including more than 12,000 abroad. What is the peculiarity of this year's test? This year, it consists of 4 disciplines: Ukrainian language, mathematics, history of Ukraine, and an optional discipline at the discretion of the students. And the most popular optional discipline is English language. More than 16,000 students signed up for this discipline. To put it in perspective, the Spanish language was signed up by 161% only, so the most popular disciplines are English language, geography, and biology. But again, this year, the national multidisciplinary test was started from 14th of May, and it will be in effect until the 28th of June, with the results announced afterwards. Talking about additional sessions, if there were reasons for a student not to be able to pass all of the exams, the additional session will be held before the 26th of July. It can be passed in 32 countries outside Ukraine, on top of Ukraine, and in those 32 countries, there are 57 sites equipped. If you're curious, there is relevant information that can be found in the website of Ministry of Education and Science. There is a holistic list of all of those sites. And talking about the technology of the test, national multidisciplinary test is supposed to be passed within 1 day. So 4 tests are being taken within 1 day, with 60 minutes allocated for each of the disciplines. So 60 minutes for Ukrainian language, 60 minutes for mathematics, then 20 minutes break, then 60 minutes of history of Ukraine, and 60 minutes for an optional discipline. But the time allocation is conditional. Basically, all of the students can distribute those 120 minutes between 2 disciplines at their discretion. For example, they can spend more minutes for one discipline and spend less time for another discipline. Well, I don't know whether we should go deeply into the test tasks. Well, all of them, I mean, the examples can be found on the website of Ukrainian Center for Evaluation of Quality of Education. But in order not to repeat those cases, we had up to 10 cases like that last year. But dear students, dear parents, please keep your answers private. That's an intelligent system, and after the end of each test you will have to save your answers. And another advice is keep close track of time. In case of air raid alert, if national multidisciplinary test is going on in shelters in many regions, but in case of air raid alerts and temporary examination center is located not in a shelter, the test will be interrupted and then only can be continued after the all clear signal. And by the 3rd of July, the students will be able to create their digital card with their rating from 100 to 200 points. So can we proceed to the admission campaign? Yes, Mr. Andriy. So let's talk about the admission campaign, its peculiarities, and the terms. Well, talking about the admission campaign, this year the schedule is like this. Starting from the 1st of July, all of these applicants will be able to sign up for their electronic accounts, and that will be their main tool for accession to the or admission to the higher educational institutions. So the applications will be accepted starting from the 16th of July and will be received until 18 o'clock on 31st of July. So for the creative specialties, the applications will be accepted starting from the 3rd July, 20 o'clock, not later than on the 5th of August. The rating list of the applicants will be published, and those who will be eligible for the budget programs will have to comply with the conditions of the budget programs until the 8th of August, 18 o'clock. And in case of contract, the program will be extended until the 31st of October 2024, just like the operation of the electronic accounts, which is planned on the 31st of October, year 2024. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Andriy, for such a comprehensive conversation. So we'd like to wish our students best of luck, and I think we have questions on the floor. Good afternoon, Mr. Andriy. Marina Shenkarenko, Ukrinform. As we know, this year the record number of students applied for admission to post-diploma education. Will the number of seats be increased due to high demand? And probably you may tell us about the number of budget seats contemplated. Well, this year the number of applications surged over 200,000 persons. This is the number that was signed up by those persons that will entitle them to enter for the post-diploma education on doctorate programs. So talking about the increase of vacancies, no, that is not going to happen because they are limited by the license. It depends on the license number for every single educational institution, and there's a lot of factors influencing those licensed vacancies, like the availability of professors, funding, and stuff like that. Talking about the review of the licenses, this is not something that's going to happen despite the demand and despite any other circumstances. One thing I would like to emphasize is that the educational center will never be helping those people who use different ways to, well, you know, I don't know how to put it in diplomatic terms, in order to avoid fulfillment of their citizens' duties. Dear friends, do we have any more questions on the floor? Now that we do not, Mr. Andriy, thank you very much for this information. Once again, I would like to wish the best of luck to all of our applicants who plan to enter the programs of the higher education institutions this year. Thank you very much, and we'll continue working together for our victory. Our team is working on the schedule of events for tomorrow. So see you tomorrow, and glory to Ukraine.